Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim bim bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bim. Good
Shabbat,
Shabbos.
good Shabbos, Cantor, Rabbi, Avi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's obvious that some are finishing dinner and getting ready for bed. Some will be having dinner after services. It just depends on the ages here. It's the perfect, sort of parameters of what we create. Hey, as we always do on Shabbat, find someone maybe that you're davening with virtually, remotely, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Introduce yourself. We've done everything we can in these unique times to find ways to connect, to extend beyond our homes, and even though we're all in them, to find ways that we connect with one another. And Shabbat's been a beautiful time that we've been able to do that. And so whether you introduce yourself on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or whatever we are able to do, it is a beautiful way for us to be a community and to create that sense of that community that we need, especially in times like this, in times when we've been waiting in a sense for Shabbat so much because we've needed a break from this day, this week, this year, in a sense, right? And how important that is for us, and how significant it is. So as we come together, I want to pause as we begin our services with some thoughts about this past week, these past 2 weeks, really, these past 13 days, 12 days, and how difficult they've been for us. And I want to remind ourselves the importance of compassion and empathy and transparency and patience and the ability we can have in our hearts to be vulnerable and to own our own shortcomings. Rabbi and me, we talked about that yesterday in what we expressed to all of you. And we were marching alongside a number of our African-American bishop, reverend, pastors, ministers who invited us to be a part of a march in Detroit, and how important that was to stand side by side, to be together and to create that opportunity. And for us, it was a reminder of how much work there is to do. And one thing we want to stress is that although we feel this urgency to jump right in and do the important work, it's not going to be something we do tomorrow. Rather, it's something we're going to build upon today and keep working on long into the future. So with that idea of patience and that momentum that we're feeling that's coming from the anger and the frustration and the pain and the hurt and the fear, so too will we build for our future. So too we create a better world where we understand what it means for us as white individuals, as individuals of privilege, to be fully aware of everyone in our world and what we can do to include. And for us, the congregation, with those of a congregation that welcomes everyone, and we have members who are of color as well, and how important they remind us of this message, so too do all of us teach one another, reminding us of that idea, how we are becoming. So I thought it was good for us to start with a prayer this evening, a prayer for our country, a prayer truly because we need it. Our God, and God of our ancestors, Eloheinu v'Ohev Avotenu v'Imotenu, bless our country and all who dwell within it. Help us experience the blessings of our lives and circumstances, to be vigilant, compassionate, and brave. Strengthen us when we're afraid. Help us channel our anger so it motivates us to action. Help us feel our fear so we don't become numb. Help us to be generous with others so we raise each other up. Help us to be humble in our fear, knowing that as vulnerable as we feel, there are those at greater risk, and that's our holy work for us to stand with them. Help us to taste the sweetness of liberty, not take it for granted, the freedoms won in generations past or in recent days, to heal and nourish our democracy, that it may be like a tree planted by water, whose roots reach down to the stream, It need not fear drought when it comes. Source of all life, guide our leaders with righteousness. Speak their hearts, but keep them from hardening, that they may use their influence, authority to speak truth and act for justice. May all who dwell in this country share in its bounty, enjoy its freedom, be protected by its laws. May this nation use its power and wealth to be a voice for justice, peace, equality for all who dwell on earth. May we be strong and have courage to be bold in our action and deep in our compassion, to discern when we must listen and when we must act, to uproot bigotry, intolerance, and violence in all its forms, to celebrate the many faces of God reflected in the wondrous diversity of humanity, to welcome the stranger and the immigrant, to honor the gift of those who seek refuge and possibility here, as they have since before this nation was born. Let justice well up like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I feel like we heard some of those words when we were addressed by the lieutenant governor, the mayor of Detroit, as well as our governor of Michigan at the end of our rally, at the end of our march yesterday, how important that was. And she said, in a sense, Aniva ata neshna et olam, that you and I will change the world. She didn't say it in Hebrew, I know. But she was saying that we have that strength, that power, that there's so much reserve within that we haven't tapped into. Despite that angst and pain and fear, we have to look into there and find that reserve, because we need to do this work. And it needs to remind us, Aniva ata nishna olam, that we can change this world.
אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבואו כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא נשנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה נשנה מההתחלה. אין דבר, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
And so it is Shabbat. You know, it's so difficult for us to separate from what's going on in our world. But the gift that we have right now is this moment of pause of Shabbat. And, you know, when you fly in a plane and they remind us that if the oxygen masks come down, that we have to put them on ourselves first before applying them to our children, it's to remind us that we have to do things to take care of ourselves in the midst of repairing our world. That we all feel that need to work in Tikkun Olam, to find ways to reach out, to build bridges, to connect with our friends, and to make our world a better place, and to end racism, to end the sense of white privilege, and to recognize what's so important. But we got to be able to put that mask on ourselves first and breathe. And that's our gift right now of Shabbat, that you've chosen to be here, to be a part of this moment. And so I ask you now to take that deep breath, to fill your lungs with air, with life, with the privilege that we have to pause and to love and to reflect and to help us in that, with that air, to do the work that we want to do, and to remind ourselves of how important the compassion and kindness that we can share in our world. That our world is built on kindness because we bring it into our world, because we have that privilege. And so, how important it is for us to remember Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Breathe in deeply our gift, God's gift to us, and breathe out our gift to this world as we sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadai, yadai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed, olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadai, yadadai, dai.
So as we breathe in deep and come together as a community, so the reminder of what it means to be a community and to pray together. And so if you'd like, as we say, our prayer books are not necessary for our Kaya Shabbat, but if you'd like, they're available on the YouTube platform and our website as well. But if you want to rise, you can. If you want to stay seated, you can. It is all up to you to make our services connecting with you and a part of our lives and our homes. And so we come together now with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Dai 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 dai. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Words that we say in this next prayer, I find incredibly meaningful today. And it's interesting because as we read Torah year after year, and we look at the same portion, every year we read it, and as we're taught by Rabbi Ben Bagbag, that we turn it and turn it and turn it again. And as we do that, that we see the same portion over and over. But because of life experiences, because of what's going on in our world, that we read it differently, and that we understand the verses in it a little bit differently as well. Same, I think, is true for this next prayer, these words of the Hashkivenu. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment, just to listen. Listen to the translation that we have in our prayer book. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Let us lie down in peace, O God, and permit us to wake up in the security of knowing that we are safe and loved. Be a shield around us and keep enemies, disease, violence, homelessness, and hunger far away from those we love. Keep us safe in the shadow of your wings, for you are our protector. You show compassion and mercy when you permit us the experience of seeing the shelter of your peace. Give to your people Israel and the world a time of peace. Beautiful words written thousands of years ago, which express our desire, our hopes, our wishes, that tomorrow morning when we wake up, one, that we wake up to light. Two, also get to enjoy peace. Peace in our world, peace in our hearts, peace in our mind, and that we partner with God to bring that peace into our world as we join with Cantor and sing these words.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Shield us from hatred, sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Rabbis a long time ago were smart enough to write those words, which still we can find meaning in today. And they are also wise enough to realize that sometimes the words which they wrote didn't express what we needed to say to God. And so we have this moment of silent prayer for our own private meditations, giving each one of us the opportunity to have our own private conversation with God, sharing our words of appreciation, words of thanks, our petitions, the requests of things that we need for us and our loved ones, for our world. And so we take a moment now for that private meditation. Please pray silently.
Thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night. And eternity orders a day, and eternity orders a day. on the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי לאה ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עבר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Beyond our own private prayers and meditations, do we take a moment to think of friends and family in our community who are in need of healing, as we recite the words of Mishaberach L'cholim, asking God to watch over them, to protect them, and to grant them refuah shlema, complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel, hu yivarech et hacholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness and anxiety. Alyssa Ayudo, Eugene Blakeman, Joel Bussell, Pat Carey, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Bill Cooperstock, Lisa Dorff, Miriam Farber, Gary Fishman, Paul Fulton, Dr. Barbara Goldman, Adele Gaba Band, Joe Gilbert, Howard Goldberg, Paul Goldberg, Sylvia Goldman, Batia Batbesha Pinina, Charles Gross, Andrew Halo, Crystal Halo, Hank Heiser, Jerry Hoffman, Harriet Hoffman, Vera Hopkins Gordon, Rebecca Horn, Sarah Jacobson, Michael Kahn, Serafina Coffin, Rick Kornspan, Yvonne Krasny, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Nina Livieva, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Florence Mars, Scott Miles, Lori Nosenchuk, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Eric Perez, Leslie Pillings, Miriam Leah Batdanel Esther, Sarah Pomerantz, Jean Richmond, Alan Rosen, the Saint Amand family, Erna Schoen, Amy Selmanoff, Sonia Sklar, Suzanne Zalesnik Smith, Fran Sunny, Toby Stein, Stephen Stillwater, Chaim Shmuel Ben Noach, Kochav Ben Noach, Sherry Weiner, Loretta Ziegelman, all those battling the coronavirus both at home and in the hospital, and the 20,095 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, a complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say
So as we gather during this time remotely, of course, due to the coronavirus, so do our thoughts and prayers also turn to those who are the healers who help so many. And so we say, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, may the one who's blessed our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick, physicians and nurses and orderlies, technicians, home health aides, EMTs and pharmacists, hospital social workers, respiratory therapists, mental health professionals, and psychologists who navigate the unfolding dangers of a world each day to tend to those who have sworn to help. Bless them in their going home and in their going out. Ease their fear and sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. And let us all say, Amen. We'll continue with our prayers of adoration, Leinu, as we join with Cantor.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך ושמו אחד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
O God, who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, give comfort to those who mourn. Give them courage and strength, compassion and kindness, and restore to them a sense of life's goodness. Give them the ability to accept the mystery of life, and let them soon know peace. Help them endure that which no one can understand, and let us say, Amen. On this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family from our community who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva and Shloshim we mark. Evelyn Soroka, Tim Thomas, Marion Popper, George Floyd, Stephen Shear, Alfred Heller, Murray Hosman, George Cooper, Janet Stein, Sidney Rose, Benjamin Perlman, Arnold Sokol, Rabbi Sissi Karan, Stephen Newman. We also recite the names of those whose Shana we mark. Laura Roth, Stephen Averbuck, Susan Averbuck, and the 2,420 Americans in our armed forces lost in Afghanistan and the surrounding areas to date. And to their names, we add those whose yard-sites were marked, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. F. Barry Abrams, Sophie Alekman, Sophia Alexander Hyman Blackman, David Berdowski, Richard Chadwick, Evelyn Columbus, Larry Charles Curley, Henry Davis, Celia Dorff, Marvin Faber, Dorothy Burstein Friedman, Corinne Garber, Yellick Gertner, David Glazer, Betty Gordon, Betty Gluz, Frank Hollander, Sarah Hollander, Seymour Paul Katzer, Seymour Cy Kaufman, Hani Kiff, Steve King, George Colas, Barbara Bank Lackritz, Adolf Lieb, Martha Lewis, Harvey Lieberman, Edith Linden, Dorothy Page, Leon Panzer, Robert Pincombe, Isidore Plotnick, Mary Pohl, Sylvan Potashnik, Sybil Pudovic, Franklin Perther, George Rank, Evelyn Rosenthal, Faye Roven, Charles Rubin, Dr. Misha Sachs, Craig Saperstein, Marjorie Schaefer, Esther Bubbles Schwartz, Edward Siegel, Shelby Jane Seaburn, Esther Shapiro, Isidore Shapiro, Kenneth Lloyd Shapiro, Charlotte Sherman, Jason Schulman, Gertrude Silverman, James Snyderman, Ira Spoon, Leo Stein, Ray Steinberg, Joseph Stern, Richard Suckenik, Richard Sukenik, Cy Tarshis, Arnold Tucker, Kate Turner, Rose Weiner, Ann Weinstein, Alec Weissman, Gerald Wohlberg, Dr. Robert Allen Wolf, Milton Yoles, Julia Zipser, Jerry Zucker, and the soldiers of Normandy D-Day. In their honor and their memory, do we join together, thanking God for the gift of life, as we join together in the immortal words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal, V'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma divrach Yerutei, V'amlich Malchutei, V'chayachon, Uv'yomachon, Uv'chayei Dachol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uv'izman Kariv V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'alam Omei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei L'Kedusha B'richu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbachata V'nechemata, Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mamav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. Together we say, Amen.
Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mamav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. Shabbos, rabbis, and everyone.
Good Shabbos, Cantor. Good Shabbos, everyone. So, a moment for us for Tish in just a second, but a couple things to share with you all. One, we've been talking about different ways to connect, to get involved, whether it's signing a petition or writing to our elected officials in important times like this and concerns that you have, and supporting the movements that are going on and the protests that are going on safely, of course, peacefully, of course, as well. And so you can shoot either us or any of us an email. We'll tell you more about those or link you with different organizations like the Equal Justice Initiative of Brian Stevenson or Color of Change, that Zionist movement recommended for us as well, that's doing great work to create equality in our world as well. Classes that are on the horizon, of course, Shabbat continues tomorrow morning, 9:15 with our Zoom Tish. If you don't have that link and you want it, shoot us an email or a message. Also with services at 10:30 and then with Havdalah at 7:30 p.m. And my son Nathan and I will be helping lead Havdalah tomorrow evening from our home. And then Minyan at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. Our Monday morning musings. It was a really important conversation with our friend, Pastor Ken Flowers, on Monday. And I believe he'll be joining us for Tish next Friday night. Pastor Ken Flowers will be with us to share some thoughts and reflections in the midst of what's going on in our world right now. And so a good friend and really great teacher as well. But this Monday, Rabbi Stephen Moskowitz will join me and we'll be teaching about social justice and the work that and how we both learned that and some things to reflect upon in the midst of that as well. And Tuesday, a new tour of Israel will continue. We've done 5 weeks of travel through Jerusalem and through Caesarea and through Masada. But now look where we're going, to Hebron and to the Jewish quarter exclusively in Sipori and Sfat. And oh, it's going to be awesome. So our friend Benny is taking us on these great tours. Sign up for that so you can get the Zoom to be a part of it as well. I've shared so much. Oh, trivia night is Wednesday. Trivia night. I almost forgot. Ding! The answer is Daniel Schwartz.
So trivia night is on Wednesday night, just a fun way to be able to gather together. And still, as we continue to social distance, this one's going to be on Zoom again. Fun way to invite family, friends that might be down the street or around the world. We had people from, I think, 8 different states that were playing last time that were all connected to Temple. And so we actually bring everybody together on Zoom to ask the questions, and then we break you out into smaller groups so that you can schmooze, hang out, talk, answer questions with a team of your choosing, or we're happy to help make some teams as well for you. So all you have to do is call Temple or email Audrey at the email address below, and we'll make sure that we get you on the team or and signed up. But it's this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, lasts about an hour to an hour and a half probably.
Awesome. And so now for our, that's right, lots of fun. And so for our Tish questions.
So Matt asked the question about, have we thought about doing outdoor services when it's a little bit easier to social distance? Yes, we have thought about it. And we are hoping to actually do that. We don't have plans set yet. We're waiting to see what's going on as now things are opening up a little bit more. But most likely sometime as we get closer to July or in July, we will be able to do something at Temple on Friday night to welcome Shabbat, a Kabbalat Shabbat service, whether it's a drive-in or something a little bit socially distanced. We have yet to confirm that date and time and the exact plans, but that's what we're thinking about at the moment.
You're right. I would say,
Yes, you are.
right, things are changing weekly, as we've learned this week, and so it's something we look forward to being able to do. Of course, when we're outside, I started outside. The weather forecast was phenomenal. It was a beautiful evening, peaceful. There were some neighborhood children who were gathering at one point, and suddenly I got really wet. I don't know if you noticed from my hair, and I know you're all excited that the hairdressers are opening up next week. Rabbi and me are ecstatic about that. So sometimes we plan for outside and we have to alter our plans. But good question, Matt. We look forward to being together outside soon, God willing. Any other questions that you may have? Yes. Well, we bring light into our world, even as clouds and rain start falling. How are you dry? Are you under an awning, Rabbi?
I am.
Sure.
I today was smart and not realizing it was going to rain. Just lucky enough to be on the front porch where the Ethernet can connect to, as opposed to the back porch.
Wait, you're in the front porch?
I'm in the front.
So confused. Well, excellent. So I was not as fortunate, though the first 10 minutes of services were great for me. So we give thanks for Shabbat as we kindle these candles and welcome this light into our world.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Thanks for the sweetness of this day, the joy of Shabbat as we gather together with the cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Amen l'chaim. These are actually our Passover Kiddush cups from when I was a kid. There's like one left in my house, so a great memory. It's very special.
The wine has been aged greatly over the years.
Well, I don't think the wine was still in it from back then.
Okay.
It's Manischewitz. It's last forever.
Maybe it doesn't matter, right?
Well, we give thanks for community and being together, peacefulness we hope to bring into the world, and the strength and that reserve that we have to call upon to really work on making our world a better place.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha Shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are as a community, as individuals, giving us the blessings we hope for, we dream for, we work for. Most of all, blessing us with shalom, with peace.
Vayasem lecha Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbat.